You're listening to the Church International Ministry audio sermon. I pray that it will help you to deepen your relationship with Jesus.
With a heart filled with courage. Yes, he was afraid of what is ahead of him, but he was a man who said, hey, I'm still going to go for it. I'm still going to go and try it. I want to just lay down a context for you so that you understand what's happening behind and relate it to your own personal life. Nehemiah's heart was filled with sadness because he heard a news from his uncle, one of his brothers, Hanani, who had come back from Jerusalem and was talking about what is happening in the city of Jerusalem. Now, you need to understand, as you look through the scriptures, you will see the book of Nehemiah is in the middle of Ezra and Nehemiah and then Esther, right? Technically, Esther was the first incident that took place. What happened with regards to how Esther became the queen and how she saved the Jews and how Mordecai helped her to save Jews was the first incident that took place. Then Ezra, then Nehemiah. That's how the sequence is, actual sequence. Of course, for the sake of referencing the history, they have rearranged it this way, the way that we have in the Bible. But chronologically, that's how it happened. Esther saves Jews. Then the king starts loving Jews. So he says, hey, all right, those of you who are in slavery now, you can go back to your own country. So under the leadership of Ezra, some of them have returned back to start rebuilding the temple that was destroyed under the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. You remember 70 years back, Nebuchadnezzar is the one who marched into the city of Jerusalem, destroyed the city of Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, looted the temple and went back. Now Babylonian kingdom changed, Median kingdom came, it changed, and now Persian king is the one who is ruling the world. Artaxerxes was a Persian king. So as a king, when he's ruling there, he now likes Jews, so he's sending them back to their country. As one remnant had gone back and they began to work on the temple rebuilding, people were not able to give to the temple because whatever they are earning and saving, it is being looted by bandits. Now today, for you and me, rebuilding the walls may not look a big job, Nehemiah's dream about going back and rebuilding the walls might look a little funny to us. Rebuilding a temple looks big, or building a temple looks big. But what's the point of walls, city walls? At that time, it was an important vision. It was an important thing because when Jews go back and settle down, they begin to take money from those who are already settled in that land. So those of whom who are in the power of in the position of power and influence with money would lend money to Jews. So Jews would take that money on interest, then they would start doing business and work, invest, and they start saving that money. And once they save that money, when they want to return it back, before they could do that, bandits would come and loot them. Because the city in which they were living has no walls. A city without walls is open to anybody to come and take away from the household, from their houses. So they would lose all that they are earning, all that they are saving. So they were in a very difficult position. Once they lost money, they had to go back to the same people and ask more money from them. This time, not only they charge for the previous money, now this time they increase the money, with exorbitant interest rates and charged more from Jews. And so they were struggling. They were going through a lot of difficulty. Sometimes the people who are lending the money itself would send bandits in the night to loot them. So that these guys would come back and take money from them. That's how difficult it was. That's why when Hanani shared the position of Jews, Nehemiah's heart broke. He knew the solution to save his own people is to build a wall around the city of Jerusalem. That's how the whole idea of going back to Jerusalem and rebuilding the wall came into the head of Nehemiah. I want you to understand this. Your vision that you have for your life, or the vision that God placed in your heart for your life, may look silly to some people. But however small it is a very important one. However, it might look like building a wall, but it is important. That's why God gave you that vision. For your life, for your family, for your church, for your people, God gave a vision in your heart because that's worth pursuing. And so, as Nehemiah now realizes this is what God wants me to do in my life, and he wants to go towards it, there are few things that would stop him from achieving what he needs to achieve. If you read chapter 2, you would begin to realize there are at least 5 obstacles for Nehemiah. First, he has to have king's permission to get back. He has to have the king granting him the leave to go back to his hometown, home country, so that he can do what God asked him to do. Now, Nehemiah is not a prime minister. He is not an influential leader. He is just a cupbearer. He is an ordinary man working in the king's palace. Yes, he is working with the king, but he is just an ordinary guy. He is not a big man. He is not somebody to whom who can walk up to the king and start talking to him, explaining his vision and say, "King, can you do something for me?" He can't do that. He's just a normal person. So his biggest obstacle first is going to be asking his employer, actually talking to his employer, saying, "Hey, I want to leave. I want to go back. Not because I want to take rest, but I want to go back and rebuild the walls of my city." If you say, "I want a 1-week holiday," maybe your employer will give you. But when you say, "I want you to give me a holiday so that I can go back to my hometown, fulfill the vision, then I'll come back and join the work," I don't think any employer would want to talk to you about that.
Nobody.
Isn't it? So Nehemiah's biggest task now is to convince the king. That's the first thing. So even if he convinces the king, there's another problem. His problem is this, that he needs the resources to fulfill the job. You just can't go empty-handed. You need something that you can go with and begin your work, begin your vision, begin to achieve what God placed in your heart. He needs resources, and resources are not going to be easy to find. Nobody wants to give resources to Jews. I have already told you how people would lend resources to Jews and charge interest rates. So Nehemiah knew without resources I cannot achieve my dream. In your case, it could be finances. In your case, it could be a job. Without resources, you can never fulfill the vision that God gave you. So that's a bigger task. Even if you got resources, there is another problem. The problem is the task itself is big. If you read, as you continue to read chapter 2, you would see Nehemiah reaches the city of Jerusalem, and then he says, "Okay, I'm going to go around and inspect what is happening." So he gets into a donkey along with few of his friends. In the night, nobody is watching him. He's going around checking out how the city wall is now looking like. He starts, you know that Jerusalem has 12 gates, right? So he begins with one gate, the valley gate, and begins to look around how the city wall looks like. And he realizes it's in a very pathetic condition. It was in such a pathetic condition, his donkey, the vehicle in which he is traveling, could not get through the rubble. It's one thing to have your Pajero not able to go, but a donkey? That's how bad the situation was. He had to get his donkey back and go all around the city, come from a different route to see. That's how bad the work was in front of him. It was a difficult task. Sometimes your dream can look like that. Man, it's never going to happen. This is too much. I can't drive through this. I can't navigate through this kind of difficulty. So Nehemiah had a tough problem. Not only he had a tough task. Not only he had to go through his employer, he had to have resources. Even if he has resources, he has a big task to finish. If you have a big task, it simply means you can't do it alone. You need people. That's his fourth problem. The fourth problem is, nobody is with him right now to work along with him. No job on the earth can be done all alone. Remember this. If God places a dream in your heart, it means you need people joining you. You need your own family joining you at least to fulfill the dream that God placed in your heart. You cannot achieve anything all alone. Nehemiah knows that. The task is big. I cannot do this. He can't obviously go around building the wall brick by brick. No, he needs people to come and join him to build the wall. And so he knows his bigger problem now is workforce. He needs people who believe in his vision and join him and finish this task.
Amen.
Finally, even if the people join him and work with him, there's got a bigger problem than that. The worst problem of all this is that there are always going to be people like Tobiah, Sanballat, and Geshem who stand up against you and stop you from doing what God is asking. So there are going to be enemies who would stand up against you and say, no, we are not going to let you do this. Your own people would stand up against you. The place where you are trying to rebuild, the people to whom you are trying to help would be the ones who would stand up against you and say, no, we are not going to do it. We are not going to allow you to do this. Oh man, that's a tough bit, you know. So it's got a lot of problems. Actually, I realized this is exactly how we face in our own lives. I've realized, irrespective of what dream, whether you're building walls, whether you're building temple, whether you're building your own home, it doesn't matter. If you are going towards a dream that God gave you, you'll always have people like this, things like this coming up against you. And you have no idea how to deal with that. You would be terrified, like Nehemiah. I was terrified, but I replied. That's the point. Nehemiah was successful because in spite of all these obstacles that are piled up against him, he said, I'm going to take a risk and take a faith step.
Amen.
And move towards it.
Amen.
Now, it's not easy to do that, you know that? It's not that easy. I believe that if you are not, only a courageous Christian would be the one who would be able to achieve his dream and fulfill God's purpose in his life. If you want to fulfill what God has for you, the plan that God has for your life, you must be a person who is filled with courage. The only problem is you cannot have a courage like that unless you are convicted of something. Without a conviction, you can never have courage. Listen to this. Courage is born out of convictions. I believe in something. I believe that this is what God wants me to do. Once you believe that, and if you're convinced of that, then you would be able to gather the courage to actually move towards your goal. You see that? So you can never take a faith step. You can never take a risk courageously without having the conviction. Frederick Nietzsche, two centuries back, there's a French philosopher by the name of Frederick Nietzsche. Frederick Nietzsche was known atheist. He did not believe in God. Well, at that time, atheism was not on a big rise. It was more like an agnosticism. That means, I don't know whether God is there or not, kind of belief. So Frederick Nietzsche wrote a poem called God is Dead. Okay, there's a brilliant poem. You got to Google it and read it. Alright? But don't believe it. But he wrote this poem called God is Dead, and he writes it so beautifully, explaining that I've been searching for God, God is nowhere to be seen, I actually think God is dead. He was talking about the age of enlightenment, when people began to think and invent new things, and they said there may be, maybe there is no God kind of stage. So he wrote this poem. He once said like this: convictions can be dangerous to the truth than lies. Convictions are more dangerous to the truth than lies. When I first read this, I was laughing at Frederick Nietzsche, because he made that statement believing that Christians have convictions. Their convictions are blinding them from seeing the truth. That's what he was trying to say. All the people who believe in a God were so convinced that there is a God that they are not seeing that there is no God. But that was his point when he said that. But when I read that, I started smiling, because he was the one who is believing it. He was the one who has got it reversed. He was the one who is not able to see the truth. So it's not just convictions or belief. You need to have right beliefs. That's the point. You need to have right convictions in your life in order to make the right steps so that God can do something wonderful through your life. So I began to search through Nehemiah's life and began to see what kind of convictions that Nehemiah has that helped him to achieve his goal. I actually think if you can have these convictions in your life, these beliefs in your life, like Nehemiah, you would be able to achieve things that nobody has ever dreamt of. Listen to this very carefully. Convictions are different from opinions. Many of us have opinions. A lot of Christians have opinions. You have an opinion that maybe Christianity is right. Maybe Jesus is right. Maybe for some time I can believe in Jesus. We have opinions, but many of us are not people with convictions. God is looking for people with convictions. Let me differentiate that. Your opinions will change based on your circumstance. Do you understand? Your opinions will change based on the people who influence you. Your opinions will change if when everything is going well, you believe on one thing. When nothing is going well, you believe in another thing. Have you realized that? Yes. There are a lot of Christians like that. Pastor, it's good to say from the pulpit everything, but outside in the world it's a different story. I have people like that in my church coming to me and telling me that. Saying all those things are good to say from the stage, but when you go to the real world, things like this don't happen. Those are Christians with opinions. They change based on their circumstances. They change based on the people around them. But God doesn't need Christians like that. God needs people with convictions. Convictions are like this. You may kill me, but I'm not going to change.
Amen.
I believe in this. For this belief, I will die. I don't care. I would die. You may kill me, but I'm not going to change. Those are people with convictions. God needs people with convictions. And that too, right convictions. So, because he had right convictions, Nehemiah had right convictions, I believe he was able to achieve what he achieved in his life. I want to give you 4 convictions that I saw in Nehemiah's life that helped him to achieve what he achieved. Quickly, follow along with me. Number 1, the first conviction that Nehemiah had this: God can be trusted at his word. God can be trusted at his word. That simply means this: that if God says something, you can trust that God will do it. Nehemiah believed that. He knew that the task ahead of him is big. He knew he alone can never achieve this. But he believed, if God had asked me to do this, I know God will help me to finish this.
Amen.
There were 3 guys in chapter 2, verses 19. You see, there are 3 people who stood up against him. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arab heard of our plan, they scoffed contemptuously. What are you doing? Are you rebelling against the king? They asked. But I replied, the God of heaven will help us succeed. My God will prosper us. Isn't that what he said? God will prosper us. All these 3 guys have stood up against Nehemiah and said, you can't finish this. Nehemiah says, I don't care what you think. God is the one who called us. He's going to finish this task. Remember this, my friend. If God is the one who called you to this country, if God is the one who gave you the job in this country, God is the one who gave you the position that you are placed in today in this country, He will finish His job, His work in your life.
Amen. Amen.
God can be trusted at His word. Remember that. If God says, I will prosper you, it simply means He will prosper you.
Amen.
Whether you are in Qatar, whether you are in Philippines, whether you are in America, wherever God takes you, God will give you success.
Amen.
That you need to trust. I need to trust. Unless we believe that, unless we hold on to that kind of faith, we will never be able to take courageous steps. For some of you, you might be asked to be replaced from this country. Maybe you are sitting there and wondering, I don't know how my future is going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen if I move away from this country. Will I ever be able to get the same kind of money that I'm getting? Will I ever be able to get the same kind of job that I'm doing right now? Will my family survive? I want you to know this. If God is the one who brought you from Philippines to Qatar, and He's now asking you to move to somewhere else, He knows how to take care of you.
Amen.
You can trust Him.
Amen.
Amen. God can be trusted at His word. That's the Nehemiah's conviction. That's why he was able to achieve what he achieved in his life. That's number 1. Number 2, the second thing that I want you to remember is this, and I think this is the conviction that Nehemiah had. God's work done in God's way will never lack God's resources. God's work done in God's way will never lack God's resources. This is the second thing that Nehemiah is convinced of. Look at how he speaks to the king. Actually, you begin to read from verses 3 all the way up to verses 8. You would begin to see how Nehemiah was talking to the king. Nehemiah was terrified. He was afraid the king would punish him. But he decided he's anyway going to say what he has in his heart. He says, King, I want to go back to my home country and I want to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. So the king looks at him and says, all right, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to give you the vacation? And that would have been enough, Nehemiah getting a grant just to go back would have been enough. But look at what Nehemiah does. He looks to the king and he says, well, I want to go back to my hometown. Thank you for granting me the leave. But also write a letter for me. This is a cupbearer talking to the king. Think about this. Okay? This is just a wine giver. He's just giving the wine to the king. He is talking to the one who probably is the most powerful man on the earth at that point of time. And he's saying, I want you to write a letter for me, recommending me so that your treasurer can give me the money that I need. Your treasurer can give the timber that I need. And he goes on to say that I want to have enough resources so that I can go back and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, rebuild the temple. Number 3, I want to build my own home. Now think about this guy's guts here. He must be mad to talk to a king like that. Okay, rebuilding the walls, no problem. Temple, no problem. This guy is actually saying, I want to build my own home, please give me. He's not asking for salary, did you realize that? He's saying king to give from king's pocket for his home. And the king actually wrote a letter. When I saw that, I realized that the kind of conviction Nehemiah would have had. He believed, I'm going to do God's work, and I'm going to do as God asked me to do. So therefore, nothing should stop me from doing this.
Amen.
That's why he was able to ask the king. It's like this. He's saying to the king, hey, I want to go on a holiday. I want you to give me leave and also pay my air tickets. Also do the shopping for me in Lulu and give me the shopping card so I can take and go back home. It's like that. That's what he asked the king. And king did that. You see that? When you believe that God is asking you to do what you're doing in your life, when you begin to see your work as God's mission for you, when you begin to see, irrespective of what job you're doing, when you begin to see that what you're doing today in this country or any other place God takes you as the ministry that God placed in your hand, you will begin to see that God brings resources.
Amen. Amen.
So God's work done in God's way will never lack God's resources. That's number 2. This is Hudson Taylor, by the way, who said that. I loved it so much, I wanted it to be my point. One of the points that Hudson Taylor experienced this kind of God's providence all through his life while he worked in China. Never actually did a fundraising, Hudson Taylor. But yet, starting with 16 missionaries, CIM, China Inland Mission, today it's called OMF, Overseas Missions Frontier, right? Missions Fellowship, Missionary Fellowship. CIM started with 16 missionaries, now more than 8,000 to 10,000 missionaries. None of them would ever go to any church ask for money. God would provide for them. That's amazing. And I think Nehemiah taught Hudson Taylor that lesson and teaches us the same lesson today. Number 3, the third conviction that Nehemiah had is this, that God is the one who moves people through prayer. He believed, I cannot convict people, I cannot move people. Only God moves people. And God only moves people through prayer. Listen to this very carefully. You cannot achieve anything in your life without the help of people. And people will never come and join you unless God moves people. Trust me on that. But God will not move people unless you pray. You get the idea now? When you get down on your knees and begin to pray for what God asks you to do, then God brings people who will join with you on your vision and complete that vision. Help you achieve the dream that you have, which God gave you. Do you understand that? Nehemiah saw that. That's why you would see in verse chapter 1 and chapter 2, well, in fact, all through his Nehemiah's life, you would see every time he faced with a tough task, every time he needed somebody to join him, he would pray and ask God, and God moves. God always moves through your prayer. Your prayer is powerful. When you pray, God brings people together. I as a pastor, and I'm sure Pastor Carlos would testify on that for himself, is that we can never achieve the vision that God placed in our heart unless people come and join us. Unless there are people who stand behind us, believe in the vision that God gave us, we can never achieve what we are doing. We know that. And we also know that they did not come because we asked them, they came because God pushed them to be with us.
Amen.
We know that. I know that. I know how people work behind the screens in the church. I know how much hard work goes even to do something like this in this place. It's not easy to do every Friday to do a service like this without any hinge, without any trouble. You need people stand behind you. People only stand behind you if God puts them there.
Amen.
Otherwise, they will not stand. I know that. I experience, and I'm sure Pastor Carlos experiences every Friday. For me, every Sunday, I see people working behind, and they do it because God knows them. It is only possible when we pray. So, same thing in your life. God will move people, kings. God will move people, your own family will join you. God will move people, even the enemies who come up against you will turn back and walk away. He will do that, but He will do that only with prayer. That's the conviction you need to have. Number 4. The fourth conviction that I believe Nehemiah had and we must have is this. That God's will, listen to this very carefully. If you did not listen to anything else till now, this is worth listening to. God's will is worth losing everything else. Write it down, okay? If you didn't understand, write it down, go back and read it again. God's will is worth losing everything else. That means this. That it's okay if I lost a job. It's okay if I lost all my security. It's okay if I lost everything in this world, as long as I do the will of God. Because there is nothing better than doing the will of God in our lives. I want you to know that. What good it is for me to own the whole world. That's what Jesus said, right? What good it is for a man to own the whole world and lose his own soul. What's the point if I earn money, work for 30, 40 years in this country, in a strange country, starting from the most bottom level, achieving great things through my life, earning money, saving money in the bank. I have the whole world in my hand and I go to hell. What's the point? Isn't it true? I don't know why many Christians don't realize that. Jesus made it so clear. Isn't it really interesting that that's what we teach our children? We save money, we do everything we can, we give the best to our children. We want to put them in good schools, we want to give everything that they ask for because we never got from our parents. We think we need to give the best to our children, so we keep giving them everything that we can. We make sure that we save enough money to give all that they want. We save enough money so that when they grow up, we give them houses, we give them lands, we give them a heritage, we give everything, and we can sentence them to death if you don't give them Jesus. Now imagine this, that you save the whole world, you have the whole world, and you give that to your child, but you never introduce him to Christ. What's the point of that? But look at the flip side. That you walk up, you give to your child, you may not be able to give lands, you may not be able to give a lot of bank balance, you may not be able to give a great career because you are not able to afford that, but you talk to your child about Jesus every day. You lead him to Christ. If all you can give to your children is just Jesus, don't you think that you gave everything to him?
Amen.
They just have to have Jesus. They have the whole world with them. They can have the whole world without Jesus. They have nothing with them. Isn't it true for us? That's why I said God's will is worth dying for. God's will is worth losing everything else. So, in pursuit of the God's will, I might lose my job. In pursuing God's will, I might lose some things that others are getting. A great house, a villa, 5-bedroom house. I don't know, maybe some of you are losing that because you are choosing to follow God's will. It's worth losing that. Because when you pursue the will of God, what you achieve will have a greater legacy than that. I think that's what I want to teach my children, and that's what I've learned through Nehemiah's life, and I think that's what you should learn. If you're convinced of that God's will is worth losing everything else, you will take a risk and stand up in front of the king and make demands. And the king will do what you ask him.
Amen.
That's what happened in Nehemiah's case. You see, he was terrified. His heart was, that means he's still afraid. He's still scared of his task. He's still scared of things that are ahead. But he just said, I'm going to believe in my God. I'm going to take a step towards it.
Amen.
Just do that as a Christian. I think God is looking for people like that. It's not that God cannot do miracles. It's not that God cannot do amazing things. It's just that God needs people with convictions like that. Saying, hey, I'm going to believe God for this. He who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. Paul says that in Philippians chapter 1, talking to Philippians. I think he said that because he realized that's what he did with Nehemiah. If God began something in your life, he will complete it. He's faithful to complete it. Right? So you can trust God for who he is. That is the thought that I want to leave you with. Convictions, right convictions will help you to have right faith, which helps you to have right results, achieve right results in and through your lives. So ask God today that the Word of God will fill you, that the Spirit of God will convict you of the truth, of the righteousness. And one of the jobs of the Holy Spirit is this, that He will convict the world of its sin, He will convict the world of the righteousness of God, and He will convict the world of judgment. Isn't that what Jesus said about Holy Spirit in chapter 16 of John? Introducing Holy Spirit, He says, the Holy Spirit will convict you of your sin. That means He will tell you where you are wrong. And then He will convict you of your righteousness. That means He will tell you what to do. Now that you know you are wrong, what is the right thing to do? He will convict you of the righteousness. He will convict you of the judgment. That means He says, hey, if you continue sin, this is the punishment. If you change and do the right thing, this is the future. That's called judgment, right? You're either going there or here. So He will give you all those three. He will leave the choice with you. This evening, I think that's what God is doing. He talks to you and tells you, you can achieve your dream. If you want to achieve your dream, these are the convictions you need to have. But you have a choice whether to believe it or not. You can still be a Christian with opinions, or you can say, no, I'm going to change. I'm going to become a Christian with convictions. Choice is yours. Let's close our eyes. I want you to take a moment to think through what God spoke to you today. And if you believe that God is speaking to you, ask God to help you to have right convictions. And God will give you right convictions. A simple prayer. Father, I don't want to be an opinionated Christian, a Christian with opinions, but a Christian with convictions. I want to follow you with conviction. Maybe a simple prayer like that, and I will pray along with you. Father, thank you for this evening. It's a joy to come into your presence, worship you, sit at your feet, receive your word. You are a God who speaks. Thank you for being a speaking God.